So this anointed class, out of it, there's the governing body. We have 8 men in New York that are on this governing body, and they are of the anointed class. Well, back in 2013, they had a Watchtower article that came out, who really is the faithful and discreet slave? And that's another term they use to describe this anointed class, the faithful and discreet slave. Well, they changed it in 2013. Instead of it being the anointed class, they made it just the 8 men. But I know that was a big point for a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses that have woken up. Then the other group is the great crowd. It's everybody else. They are destined to stay on the earth, or if they've died, to be resurrected and be on the earth. So what's really interesting about this is that Jesus, therefore, is only the mediator for the anointed. Now, they don't make this front and center. They had a question from readers, little thing put in one of the magazines. So it wasn't something that we actually studied, but it was in the magazine. We're supposed to read our magazines. And basically, it came out and said, like, yes, Jesus is only the mediator for the 144,000. And what was interesting about that, when I learned that, when I was still going to the meetings and going out in service, but I was awake, I would kind of ask people, is Jesus your mediator? And they'd say, yes, of course. He's my mediator, they'd say very proudly. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know you were anointed. They're like, I'm not anointed. I said, well, Jesus is only the mediator for the anointed. They're like, what? And so, like, everybody I asked believed that. So it's very interesting how Jehovah's Witnesses do that. Keep that in mind, that there's this ability to hold 2 different beliefs, something you've been officially told and something you really believe, and somehow make them agree. That's called cognitive dissonance. And therefore, this great crowd is an extension of the anointed. We are closely associated with them, and because of our close association, we benefit as they do. And really, we're supposed to be loyal. A lot of talks, songs, scriptures being changed to emphasize the loyalty angle. And it's really gotten to where the loyalty is more to the governing body than to Jesus. And in my opinion, they've kind of usurped. Well, they have usurped Jesus' position. Even though they say Jesus is above them, when you live it, it's not that way. Jesus is really quite secondary. So